Yeah, yesterday we discussed about the yesterday we discussed about the virtualization, right? The virtualization and Docker, right? So the today's class is Docker, how to set up the Docker. So what is the Docker architecture? So Docker architecture and containerization. What is containerization? And so we'll discuss the setup, so environment setup, guys. Okay. Yeah. What is a Docker architecture, guys? What is the what is the Docker architecture? So the Docker architecture is nothing but the first Docker file. So what is the Docker file, guys? It contains it contains instructions. So it contains instruction to build a Docker image. So to build the Docker images. So what is the second one? Docker image. What is the Docker image, guys? It is a package. It is a package which contains which contains code plus dependencies. So code plus dependencies. The image contains code, OS image, the OS and code and dependencies. Okay. So the third one is, so what is the third one? Docker registry. What is that, guys? Docker registry. What is Docker registry? It is a repository. So to store Docker images. What is that? To store Docker images. What is that? Hub.docker. Okay. Hub.docker.com. So this is the Docker Hub registry. Yeah. So this is the a repository. This is the repository to store the Docker images. These all are my Docker images. These all are my Docker images. Guys, understood? So this is my Docker Hub account, and all these are my Docker images. All these are my Docker images. Understood? So Docker registry to store the Docker images. Docker container. So what is a Docker container, guys? It is a runtime process which runs our application. What is? It is a runtime process which runs our application. Our application. So we can run our application in a container. Our application in a container. So guys, note once the Docker image is created, then we can pull that image and we can run that image in any mission. What is that? Once the Docker image is created, then we can pull that image and we can run that image in any mission. Any mission. Yes, understood. So note once the Docker image is created, then we can pull that image and we can run that image in any mission. Yes, understood? Yeah. So you understood, right? The containerization also, you understood the containerization, right? Yesterday we already discussed about the containerization, right? So what is a containerization? What we can achieve in this containerization? So right, it is used to package all the softwares and applications code in one container for execution. So it is used to package all the softwares and application code in one container for execution. Okay, so one container for execution, and container will take care of everything, right, guys? So container will take care of everything which is required to run our application. Container will take care of everything which is required to run our application. Okay, so which is to run our application, and so we can run the containers in multiple missions easily. So we can run the containers in multiple missions easily. We can run the containers multiple missions easily. Container. Docker is a containerization software. Right, guys? Who developed the containerization softwares? A Docker company created the container software. So using Docker, we will create the container for our applications. Using the Docker, we will create image for our application. Docker images we can share easily to multiple missions. Using Docker image, we can create the Docker container and we can execute it. Right, guys? So Docker is a containerization software. What is that, guys, sir? So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is Docker is a containerization JSON software. So Docker is a containerization software. Docker will take care of the application dependencies for the execution, application deployments into multiple environments. So will become easy if we use the Docker container concept. Right, guys? So next, how to install the environment setup. So what is that, guys? So the next one is environment setup. So what is that? Environment setup. How we can set up the environment. So you guys are having AWS account or something like so you have a AWS account. So you can use the create a AWS account. What is that? Create account in AWS cloud. The second one is create a Linux mission using AWS EC2 service. Okay. So what is the image is AMI is Amazon Linux. AMI is Amazon Linux. So what is the start step? Connect to Linux mission. Connect to Linux mission using putty. Using putty. Okay. So the fourth one is, what is the fourth one? Install Docker software. Install Docker software in Linux VM using below commands. What are the commands we need to install the Docker? Install Docker in Amazon, Amazon Linux. Guys, I will show you how to install. Okay. So what is that? You can use sudo yum update -y. So sudo yum install docker -y. Next, What is the next one, guys? Sudo server docker start. So right, then add EC2 hyphen user to docker group by executing the below so command. Okay, so what is the command to execute, guys? So sudo usermod hyphen a capital G docker ec2 hyphen user. Okay, so then restart the session. What is that? So restart the session. So how you can restart? Exit. Yeah. So then, so you will execute the command called as a docker info. So docker info, then press R, restart the session. Okay. Yeah, guys. So I will show you how to install the just it's a package. You just install the package and start the package. Nothing to do. Nothing to do, guys. I will show you. Yeah. So this is my AWS, guys. I logged into this AWS and I launched the EC2 instance. In the EC2 instance, something like I started the Ansible server. So so in the Ansible server, just get the public IP and through connected through the putty. Okay. So default duplicate session. So what is the user? EC2 hyphen user, guys. So the user is EC2 hyphen user. Guys, so how you can install, guys? What is the command? So cat slash etc os hyphen release release. So which one? Amazon Linux 2 is installed on my machine. Okay. So yum sudo m install hyphen y. So there it is update and modified mini uses install package or package application install and install in sorry. Sudo m update y is nothing but it will update all the packages with the latest version. So the 29 package will be updated. So once it is updated, you just install the Docker. So by default, a Docker package will be available on all the Linux machines. Okay, all the Linux machines. Sudo yum install Docker hyphen. So it will
But
automatically install.
it's coming yum not found. Sudo yum command not found.
Sorry.
It's coming sudo yum command not found when I tried sudo yum install hyphen y
So where you executed that command?
in my Ubuntu Linux machine.
Yeah, Ubuntu is apt is the command. apt install docker.
Okay, first I need to do sudo apt install minus y.
No. Sudo apt update hyphen y.
Yeah,
So
got
you
it.
want to install in the Windows, you want to install on the Ubuntu machine, huh?
Yeah,
Mm, so you want to install on Ubuntu. Mm, 1 second, I will give you that commands.
Actually, I have this Ubuntu virtual machine ready, so I thought.
Okay, I will give you that 1 second. So I'm pasting in the chat. Yeah, I pasted in the chat.
Okay. Connected using git bash execute the view.
So these are the command. Call, you can use that command, call command. Then docker sh get docker.
It is not complete. Get doc.
Yes, sh get hyphen docker.sh. Okay, that is the command. So this is the first command. You need to execute. And the second command is sh get docker sh for Ubuntu. Okay, understood? Yeah.
Yeah, I understood. It's coming curl option requires parameter.
Call. Can you paste it in the chat?
I'm on different machine actually. Wait.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So you can try. You can just execute the Docker. So you can just download the Docker and install the Docker. Okay, the Ubuntu machines. Okay, so Docker is installed. Then let's see sudo service Docker status. It's not started. How you can start? Can start by using start. Let's see the status. Yeah, Docker is running. So if in our mission Docker is running, we can run the container. Must and should the Docker container service need to run on mission. Okay. Yeah. So we started it. Then so we need to add that Docker group into by executing the below command EC2 user. Which user? The EC2 user. Sudo usermod -ag docker EC2 user. Okay. So then exit. Okay. So this is the one, right? Duplicate session. Root. Shit. EC2 user, right? Duplicate session. EC2 user. Yeah. Right. So Docker info. You see, guys. So Docker is installed. So Docker version is 25.0.8 is installed. Right. 0.8 is installed. Yes, understood? So what is that? So some command, something like if you want to see the Docker commands, how you can see the Docker commands, guys. Docker commands. So what are the Docker commands? We install the Docker, then Docker commands. So what are the Docker commands, guys? C Docker info using which command, guys? Docker info. Next, to see Docker images. So Docker images, how you can see, guys? Docker images command. So the next command is pulling hello world Docker image. Or you can pull the hello world Docker image. You can use the Docker pull hello world. Right. To see or running hello world Docker image. Or you can run the hello world Docker image. You can run the Docker images. Docker run hello world. Right. So Docker run hello world. Next, so how to display running Docker containers? How many Docker containers are running? You can display Docker PS. What is that, guys? Docker PS. Display running plus stopped containers. Display running plus stopped also. I want to see running and stopped containers also. What is that? Stopped containers. So how you can run, guys? Docker ps hyphen a. Hyphen a is nothing but a all. All means running plus stop. And we'll show the running plus stop. Okay. Yeah. So how to inspect the Docker image? So how to inspect the Docker image? Docker inspect image ID. What is that? Docker inspect image ID. So remove the Docker images. How you can remove the Docker images? How you can remove the Docker images? Docker RMI. What is that, guys? RMI is nothing but a remove image. So image name or what is that? Image name or image ID. Image name or image ID. So what is the next command, guys? I want to remove the Docker images forcefully. What is that? Remove the Docker images forcefully. Or you can remove the Docker images forcefully. Docker RMI. Docker RMI hyphen F is nothing but a forcefully. So image hyphen name or image ID. What is that, guys? Image ID. What is that? Stop the container. How we can stop the container? We can stop the container by using Docker stop container ID. Container ID. Okay. Stop the Docker by using container ID. Next, remove the Docker container. How you can remove the Docker container? You can remove the Docker images. Docker RM. Docker RM container ID. What is that? So we can remove the Docker containers. So for example, remove all stopped containers plus unused images plus unused networks. So it will delete everything by the command docker system room hyphen a. So these are the commands, guys. Guys, understood? So it's a very simple, nothing to worry about it. So Docker is just it's a container. It's a container. Okay. Docker info. What is that? Docker info to see the Docker info. See the Docker images. So Docker images. Pull the hello world Docker image, pull hello world. It will pull from the Docker hub registry. So pulling hello world and running hello world Docker images. Docker run hello world. Display running Docker containers. Docker hyphen ps. So display running plus stopped containers. Docker ps hyphen a. Inspect the image. So inspect the image by using Docker inspect image ID. Remove the Docker images. RMI Docker RMI image name or image ID. Remove the Docker images forcefully. RMI hyphen f image name or image ID. Stop the container. So Docker stop container ID, start the container, Docker start container ID, remove the Docker container, Docker RM container ID, remove all stopped containers, unused images and unused networks by using Docker system home hyphen a. Guys, understood? So yeah, let's see then the so what is that, guys? Docker info. So Docker info you already executed. Next, Docker images. Is there any images? Are there? No. So we did not pull the any images or we did not created the any Docker images. It is showing empty. You want to pull the Docker image, right? Docker, Docker. What is that? Docker pull. Hello world. Hello world. I'm pulling the hello world Docker image. It is pulling. You see, latest pulling from library hello world and the pull completed. So this is the status downloaded new image for the hello world latest and the Docker ID. So where it from? It's downloaded from the docker.io. It's downloaded from the docker.io. Right. Now let's check the Docker images. Yeah, one Docker image is available. It's created 3 months ago. This in the Docker IO, it's created a 3 months ago. The size of the Docker is 10 KB. What is the correct? 10 KB. Tag is latest at image ID. So this is created and the size and the repository name. Okay, image, the Docker image name, hello world. The Docker image name is hello world. How to run the Docker? Docker run hello world image name Docker image name. Okay, yeah, you see hello from Docker. This message shows that your installation appears to be working correctly, and the generate this message Docker took the following steps. Docker client contacted with the Docker daemon pulled to the hello world image from the Docker hub. The Docker daemon created a new container from that image, which runs on the executable that produces the output of a currently reading. So the Docker daemon streamed that output to the Docker client, which sent it to our terminal. Send it to our terminal. To try something more ambitious, you can run the Ubuntu container Docker run -it Ubuntu bash. Okay. Yeah. So Docker images, right? Docker images we see it Docker PS. So Docker PS, Docker PS hyphen E. Yeah, you see. So 59 seconds ago we started, but the status is excited. What is the status, guys? Status is excited. Yes, understood. It is not running. It is not running. What is the Docker container ID? So this is the container ID. Docker inspect image ID. So Docker inspect image ID. What is the image ID? For example, this is the image. You see, this is the Docker. So that is the Docker info. Okay. So I want to Docker images. So what are the Docker images are there? I have a one Docker image. I want to delete the Docker image or Docker pull. I'm pulling the latest Ubuntu image. Okay, Docker image. Okay, so how many images we have? So we have two images. How you can remove these Docker images? Docker image, Docker RMI. How to remove as? RMI is nothing but a remove image. Image name or image ID. We can use either way. Image ID Ubuntu or image name also we can use it. So let's try to delete a number of images at one time. Error response from daemon. Conflict Ubuntu unable to delete this 745 image is being used by stopped container. Okay, it is using this image is using. We are trying to delete this image, but this image is using. How you can delete forcefully? Docker RMI hyphen F forcefully. If it is running, yeah, Docker images. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. Right? Mm, again, Docker hello world. Docker full Ubuntu. So these all comes from the Docker Hub registry. Docker Hub registry. Docker images. What is that? Sorry. Docker images. So these are the two Docker images. Docker images. Okay, these are the two Docker images. So I want to run the Docker container, right? Docker run. Okay, Docker ps. Docker ps okay. Yes, it is running two. Okay, I want to stop the. So this is exited, right? So I want to stop the container. Docker stop container ID. What is this? Container ID or image name. Yeah, it stopped. Yeah, it stopped. So I want to remove the Docker. Docker RM container ID. Okay. Docker PSI. Yeah, nothing is there. So the running containers also deleted. Okay. Something like Docker room hyphen A. It will delete everything. Sorry, system. Okay. So it deleted everything. Yes, understood? Docker images. So nothing is there. Guys, yeah. So what we need, yeah. So we need to create the Docker. Someone is pasting. So no need to run uncrypt. No need to run that apt update. You just try run the call command. Request parameters curl try curl help curl manual more. So did you check if the curl is installed on our machine or not?
No. So what I did, I installed Linux only. Uh, just show those
Okay.
initial commands once. I'll do it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yep, guys. So what this is, we need to sign up the Docker Hub, guys. So what is that? So note, guys, what you can do, create account in Docker Hub. So how you can create https://hub.docker.com. Okay, guys. So you guys can create the Docker Hub account. Okay, or else if you want to show, I will show you. Just sign up, guys. You already know, right? How to sign up the accounts. For example, Facebook, WhatsApp. It is asking, right? Just a small Docker Hub account. If you go to the hub.docker.com, click the sign up, then you can provide the username, email ID, and everything. Then it's asking the code. Once you enter the code, it will be automatically logged in, signed up. Okay. Yeah. So what we will discuss tomorrow? We'll discuss tomorrow about the a Docker file. What is a Docker file? How you can create the Docker file? From the Docker file, how you can create the Docker images by using the Docker file. Okay, guys, understood?
Yes.
Guys, yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So we'll continue from tomorrow.